We're almost there. This is a project that has not just been weeks in the making, but months in the making, and we're really excited to be able to offer TEDx here at NJIS, so I hope that you guys enjoy.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to NJIS's first ever official TEDx, where our speakers will unveil submerged knowledge. Now, before we call on our first speaker, I'd like to remind everyone to please be respectful and not talk during the presentations. Okay, without further ado, let's call on our first speaker, Natasha from DP2.
My mother spent her youth striving to secure a future that would take her far, far away from the hardships of her village. Her dream was simple. It was to ensure that her children would live a free life, free from the adversities she endured. In many cases, she succeeded. I'm grateful to have received an education far beyond what she could have imagined for herself. However, it wasn't until 2 years ago, where I found myself walking in my mother's shoes, that I realized that I truly understood what she meant by sheltering me. The endless hours of lectures I once knew were replaced by days where only 2 or 3 teachers would appear, leaving us adrift in an 8-hour-long school day meant for many subjects. This scarcity of teachers left us students to fend for ourselves in a school that felt more like a ghost town. The core issue with Indonesia's state schools, in most cases, and apart from the inadequacy of facilities, would unsurprisingly be the uneven distribution of teachers. In many classes, students are left unsupervised because of the teachers who are overburdened by multiple roles. And without this supervision, in the absence of supervision, what do these students do exactly? Some might attempt to catch up on assigned work, if any was given. But in most cases, they are drawn into this unproductive cycle of habits, such as scrolling through social media or video games, which this habit is carried out on and on, day after day, until before you know it, school ends, and oh no, they are forced into the real world unprepared. So the question still stands. How do we address the challenge of students not being able to make the most of their time at school when they're unsupervised? Let's begin by re-examining how we perceive and value time. To start off, the perception of time is commonly referred to as chronoception, which is subjective and shaped by how we perceive the duration and unfolding of events in our lives. And actually, according to the proportional theory of time perception, our sense of time might be proportional to our entire lifespan. This means that as we age, our perception of present time seems to start to feel like it's relatively shorter when you compare it to your entire lifespan. For instance, according to this theory, at 1 year old, a year represents 100% of your life. Since you've only been alive for 1 year, that entire year encompasses your entire existence. This means that as we age, time will seem to go by more quickly because each year presents a shorter portion, a smaller, very smaller portion of your accumulated memories and experiences. Let's take a look at it from a different angle. So, psychologists have conducted a study that indicated how old people tend to perceive time as passing by more quickly than younger people. And how does that happen? Well, this phenomenon could be attributed to the increased routine and repetition in our lives as we age, which leads to fewer new encounters. To demonstrate this, I'd like you all to take a look at the screen and the images displayed on the screen and decide which of the cat pictures lasted longer. Alright, I get it. They're really cute. I got these cat pictures from my teacher. And jokes aside, the gray cat image was displayed almost throughout the entire video, whereas only one single image of a white cat was shown. This naturally led us to feel that one single white image of a white cat felt like it lasted longer. However, the duration of each image displayed equal. It is the repetition of the gray cat image which made us feel like the glimpses passed by more quickly. The absolute and relative value of time typically remains consistent throughout our entire lives, but it is up to us on how we perceive it and what we choose to do with it. So, in order to master the clock, we must be aware on how attention significantly influences our perception of time. This means that focusing intensely on certain activities would make us feel like time passed by more quickly. Now, I'm pretty sure most of you are familiar with the 80-20 rule, which means that 20% of your input equals to 80% of the results. Now, I appreciate this concept of efficient division. However, let's twist it a bit. To hone in your tasks, aim to allocate 30% of your time in doing necessary duties and the remaining 70% into pursuing your dreams. Why did I say that? Well, by prioritizing your passion, it will be easier for you to visualize success, which in turn motivates deeper focus. And before you know it, time will fly by as you engage in these activities, and you might even find yourself some extra time since you've been productive throughout. So whether you're a student or an adult or a super busy professional, the value of time management applies universally. Reflecting on the earlier question, what do students do in the absence of supervision, and how can they make the most of their time? It's clear that this issue is deeply rooted in the lack of organizational structure and also teacher shortages found in most state schools in Indonesia. However, the responsibility on how to make the most of their time remains with the students themselves. So by instilling a sense of awareness on how fleeting the nature of time truly is, students are able to redirect their energy into more meaningful pursuits. By doing this, they won't be unprepared when they're forced into the real world. So, the incessant ticking of time may seem ominous because, let's face it, it truly is. However, it serves as a reminder on how we should cherish our memories and recognize their value. And I hope that this perspective shines a brighter mindset to you guys who are fixated on the fleeting nature of time. Thank you.